know that. I've got to go look it back up. But the point is that they made a movie about it. And people will finally go, oh, they break the windshield, so then people come spend money with them. Bingo. Again, and for long-time listeners, I know you understand this better than I, and you say, Alex, why are you talking to us like we're 5 years old? You already are awake. You know what's going on. You were awake probably before you ever heard this show. You got street smarts. I'm talking about the general public, folks, that finally go, oh, yeah, if they finance al-Qaeda and the Taliban to take over Afghanistan, then they can go kick them out, at least one faction of them, control trillions in opium, trillions in no-bid weapons contracts over 13 years, and transfer wealth from the American people to the military-industrial complex, who now is taking over with the NSA and armored vehicles and militarized police, which we pay for with tax money. This is where you pay for your own slavery. Do you understand that now? And most of the time they go, oh, yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, why don't you get it when you tune into the show? Because this is not my opinion. Zbigniew Brzezinski's written 5 books, and I've read almost all of them. Scanned through his latest. I just don't have time to read whole books anymore. You know, they're 500 pages long. I did get the book and check the quotes I saw online that they were accurate. And, I mean, he just admits everything. But explains how it's a good thing. And this is, again, for the elite to sit around and read and legitimize that they're doing something moral and good, controlling world narcotics trade. Oh, we run the narcotics worldwide to control it. Because there's going to be narcotics trade, and if the good guys don't run it, bad guys will get it, like the Russians, and then they'll take over. Well, you're doing exactly what the Russians did during their most oppressive phase of Sovietism. And you're going after the good people. So obviously, it didn't work out that way. It was a rationale for you to control organized crime. And 3 or 4 of the books I read Brzezinski wrote, I mean, he just admits all this in there. I remember when I was a kid, my dad would explain, no, the government runs the narcotics to control it. And I would say, well, how do you know that? And he said, well, it's in these Zbigniew Brzezinski books. He's one of the top people that advises and runs things. Plus, we've had family that's seen it working for the government. And so don't ever join the government if they try to come and recruit you. I just grew up knowing all this stuff, and it's common sense. It's not like it's rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, how do you end that? You decriminalize the drugs. You control them. You don't legalize them. You decriminalize them, and you run ad campaigns about how losers use them. But instead, they're putting people on the synthetic pharmaceuticals that are just as worse or bad or just as bad or worse. And now they've had the drug war for 30 years or longer. Nixon started it, where they don't go after the dealers, they go after the users, to where now we almost can't legalize it. I've really been thinking about this. And you know why? Because the giant criminal economy will only go into other rackets. They've run this corruption so long that there are armies of criminals and scum who don't know how to work, and there's not a real economy for them. And so the economy would shut down, and they would infest everything else. But you know what? You've got to go ahead and do it, because that's short term. Long term, it's even worse to let it happen, because they're going to metastasize into every other racket and every other angle regardless. Mexico now has seen their tourism drop by more than half the last 5 years, and it's set within a couple more years to basically be non-existent. The country has collapsed. And they've got kidnapping and murder and just hell on earth. Over 130,000 dead the last 7 years that we know of. Mass graves being found everywhere. And they're probably never going to come back unless they were major league reformed, with land being given to the poor people and everyone aggressively as vigilantes going after any type of mafia and basically routing the whole group. I'm not normally for people to be hung from lampposts everywhere, but in Mexico's so corrupt that if the entire political elite isn't hung, Mexico will never get out of it. And the same thing for Latin America and Africa and Asia and Eastern Europe. I mean, once corruption sets in, it's very hard to dig out. And America is entering that same zone now. We'll give you the latest on the border, FBI checkpoints, and more straight ahead. Stay with us.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
Question: could too many GMO foods and toxins be overloading your digestive and immune systems? Answer: yes. If you're searching for a powerful detox that's gentle enough to use every day, use Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic that uses good bacteria to suppress pathogens and gently eliminate toxins from your body. A healthy digestive system will cleanse and remove toxins, support weight loss, improve absorption of food nutrients, and aid in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro-EM1 is made with only non-GMO and certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is dairy, soy, wheat, and gluten-free. Pro-EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro-EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Also available through Amazon Prime. Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Life's getting better.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Get the most important package of information you'll ever receive in your life for only $10. The package includes 3 books and 7 DVD programs which cover biblical miracles and prophecy. The Shroud of Turin, The Third Secret of Fatima, What Really Happened to the Catholic Church, and more. Call 800-513-0029. That's 800-513-0029. Or go to VaticanCatholic.com. That's VaticanCatholic.com. 800-513-0029. VaticanCatholic.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Here's the headlines up at Infowars.com. School plans to put digital tags on students with microchip bracelets to encourage, quote, good behavior. FBI, police turn entire town into checkpoint, interrogate drivers, putting black X's on their hands. Wait till we break that down. Don't fear Ebola, fear the state. An excellent article by Kurt Nimmo. Obama signs an executive order to detain Americans with respiratory illnesses, not just Ebola. And now we have Ebola-infected U.S. aid workers due to arrive at Emory University Hospital, Atlanta. Now, here's the deal. They hyped the H1N1 scam 5 years ago, and that was a fraud. But then when there was a real respiratory killer wiping people out all over the U.S., there were local news articles about the pandemic, but it never was national, which meant there was a shutdown basically ordered. And I've talked to medical doctors who said, no, they were told to shut up about it, but that it was the worst they ever saw this last winter, 2013 into 2014. And it's just now ending. Taking 3 people in my immediate close family. That's how devastating this has been. So I know they ignore real things and then hype fake things, but I think some of this is hype with Ebola, but some of it's not. They don't have some ready-made drug or ready-made vaccine right now. They didn't start the fear-mongering right before this happened. It's now getting up close to 1,000 dead. Those were older numbers yesterday. We were talking about 500 dead. And it could be over 30,000 that have come in contact and could be infected. And there are people that have it in the U.S. and Germany now in quarantine areas, and they're keeping that quiet, but it's come out in the news. And if Ebola starts to spread, the United States is hot, and Ebola needs to be transferred by saliva or by touch, and it dies if it's below like something 80-something degrees is what I was reading. We're going to get some virologists on to break this down coming up this weekend on the Sunday show probably, or early next week. We're working on it right now to understand things. Maybe we get Dr. Sherry Tenpenny on. I know her husband recently died. It's hard to get her on, but she's a virologist. The issue here is that we're watching it very, very closely because Ebola kills more than 90% of the people that come in contact with it. And there aren't really any good treatments that they know of yet. And there's a lot of cases of American doctors that have contracted it and that are dying, and others that have died, and African doctors where they're even foregoing some of the experimental treatments because there's not enough of it, and they're giving it to their patients and other medical workers, and the medical doctors are just basically dying or preparing to die. And that's very heroic. When you see examples of medical doctors like that, it makes you admire what made Western medicine so great worldwide 100 years ago. Because MD medicine 100 years ago was totally trailblazing. How to stop infection, how to do surgeries. I mean, it's just magic compared to the treatments they had that were the old apothecary herbs and things, and that helped and did incredible things as well. There were 5 or 6 different schools of medicine, but MD was so amazing that it took the world by storm. Then it became Rockefeller medicine, now eugenics medicine, and has been pretty much ruined at many levels. But you see medical doctors following the ancient system of Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm, which they haven't given that oath for at least 20 years in Western medical schools. Now it's carry out bioethics, eugenics operations. And they're creating cult-like socialist, what are the creatures, the robots in Doctor Who that go around saying exterminate, exterminate? The Daleks. More and more they operate like Daleks. And they just shuffle around saying, get rid of the old people, get rid of the mentally retarded, get rid of the infirm. There'll be more money for those that are viable and contribute to society. You can't ever start letting someone decide in government who has value and who doesn't. You decide that by who you marry and have kids with. You decide that by who you associate with. You decide that by what you buy and who you support, what products you purchase. You decide to only have organic food. Pretty soon, the whole market will be organic. You decide what films you want to see that are liberty-based. That'll become the dominant culture. But you don't have the state directing that. It's always the worst group, historically, to direct it, because special interests will get in there and will do what's good for them, not what is evenly distributed by the voting of the culture, the religion, the ideas, the art, the literature, the music that the public decides to adopt. We have Sumner Redstone force-feeding gangster rap and Marilyn Manson to psychologically infect children to make them mentally ill, artificial sociopaths or borderline personality disorder, narcissistic twit bots. We'll cover all the news, give the number out, and take your calls. Straight ahead. Stay with us.
We're